Hey guys, it's Joe Vizio here. It's my Sunday fun day work day. You know, in all actuality, I would say something like that, but I kind of enjoy doing this, man. You know, it usually takes me the whole day on a Sunday, but, you know, my wife is either at working or, you know, she likes to go to her church with the family and stuff like that. I'm not so much a religious person. I believe in God, but, you know, I'm one to tend to think that man has manipulated religion over the years for money and control, and, you know, there's a God out there. I don't believe that, you know, we were told the honest story about it. I think we were given that to keep them under control version, but, you know, I in no way knock what you believe. Whether you're a Muslim, whether you're Jewish, Christian, Pentecostal, I mean, whatever you choose to do, that's good for you because that brings you peace. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. So you're not going to hear any kind of religion bashing out of me. So, let me go ahead and get into this. I probably end up making a few videos today, as I have a long day ahead of me, and I'm just getting started. So, I had talked with a friend of mine, and my friend was kind of asking me a little bit about my sister. And anytime I bring my sister up, I always say that, you know, she's a topic for another video. Well, I think that today's her lucky day, because she's going to be my topic. Now, mind you, my videos are not rehearsed. I am driving my car right now. You know, I do keep my eyes on the road. I treat this camera just as if it was a passenger sitting right next to me. And I just talk and I tell my story. And I do this because I like to rewatch my stories, because it makes me connect with myself as a human. When I think about my story and I'm telling my story, I can always just think, oh, well, you're just feeling sorry for yourself. But when I watch it and I see myself telling that story, I connect. I can say, you know what? On the other side of that camera is a human being that's obviously hurting and needs to get some things out. And I think that we all really need to do something like that. Whether you post it and make it public, excuse me, or you just keep it for yourself. I think it is very good to do this. The only reason that I publish mine, because, I mean, yeah, when you do think about other people sitting there watching your story, and, you know, you might feel a little bit weird, you might want to try and make your story perfect, and it just doesn't come natural, you feel awkward. I just kind of held my nose and dunked my head right into the water to do this, because I have a feeling that maybe somewhere down the line it might help somebody and raise awareness. So that's the only reason why I do it. But it is unscripted. You will see that I'm going to make a lot of different mistakes. I'm probably going to forget some things that I want to say that I'll bring up in another video, but I think that that's really the only way that you can do this, is to just do it naturally and let it flow through you. So, my sister was born in 1971. She is just like 18 months older than me. My sister went through a lot of the same things that I went through. She knows what I'm talking about. We could sit down and talk like a couple war buddies telling our stories. And we could sympathize with each other because we know that we weren't lying. We were both there. This has happened recently, you know, as much as a year ago, man. I mean, we always had that connection. But where we differ is that my sister really takes a lot of her anger out on my mother. And, you know, if you heard my story and heard how my mom kind of ditched my sister, then ditched me, you know, kind of a little bit justified. I was always a little hard on my sister about that, just because it seems like she just left my mother as my responsibility and she has nothing to do with it. But, you know, I mean, everybody fights the battle that they want to fight. My sister really, she holds a relationship with my father because, you know, and I always say this, but my father has money. You know, you go over to my father's house, I mean, you know, it's everything's nice, top of the line furniture, top of the line fixtures in the house, decorative poolscaping. I mean, just, you know, he's not like loaded with money, but he's got money, you know, he's not hurting. And so, you know, going over to my father's house is a lot different than would be like going over to my mother's house, you know, where my mother just, my father's in like a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath pool home, you know, it's probably worth $750,000, whereas my mother would live in a 1-bedroom travel trailer in a park. She doesn't have money. The only thing that she has is her disability, and the only reason she gets a disability right now is because she's got COPD from smoking her whole fucking life. So, you know, my sister chose to hang out with my father. You know, in her mind, she chose the sanest of the two. And, you know, it kind of is what it is, I guess. I always say that I hope that he leaves her something in that will. But, you know, us experienced people, so I don't mean to say experienced because I'm really not experienced. I'm kind of just winging this and learning as I go along. But you experienced people who may see this. I mean, you know that the narcissist will is a trap. It is nothing more than something to just kind of string you along. And, you know, my father has a wife that's like 13, 14 years younger than him. You know, so when he does go, I mean, who's going to get everything? His wife. I mean, by rights, I mean, it's hers. She's been married to the man for, I mean, Christ, almost 20 years now, you know? I mean, that's not just his stuff. I mean, she's honestly helped him earn it. So when he dies, that all goes to his wife, man. That's hers. I can't even say that goes to her. It's rightfully hers. So, you know, I mean, I don't know what my sister thinks she's going to get out of this. You know, there's this illusion of a insurance policy from the military that's supposed to be in our names, but, you know, I hope she nets something. I hope her life works get her something. So, anyway, that's why my videos are so long. I just don't know when to shut the fuck up. My sister, My sister naturally had that narcissist in her. From when we were kids, me being the younger one, she kind of bullied me around a little bit. Nothing, she wasn't taking my lunch money or anything like that, but, I was just a playful kid, man. I wanted to play, I wanted to just do kid stuff. And my sister really didn't want much to do with me. She was the golden child. She always had my grandmother, my aunt, distant aunts and uncles and everybody blowing smoke up her ass. I was the one that was kind of always left behind on the overnight trips and the mall trips and the McDonald's trips and stuff. People really didn't want to deal with the hyperactive little boy. My sister was already conditioned for it, she had that ding. So everybody kind of chose her. And, I think at a young age, my sister really learned how to manipulate people. She knew how to play the game and play it up, and, it's what she did, man. Just as stupid as this may sound, just as an example, sometimes on Christmas, somebody would just get you a present for the both of you. A game, a board game or something like that, and it was meant for, you guys are going to play it together. My sister would take these games within the first week or so that we have it. She would break the box, or she would scatter the pieces around, and then she would show my mother what I did, and she would take the box back together, and then my mom would say, oh, well, Mary, you're just in charge of these games because your brother destroyed it. Then next thing you know, sorry, it wasn't my game too, it was just Mary's game up in her closet. She knew how to play that. She was just a little manipulator. And, and I have to say, as it came into her adult life, she kind of used that on her friends. She was always very controlling of her friends. As soon as one of her friends did something that she didn't approve of, that friend went on to the bottom of the shit list. That friend went on to the bottom of the shit list, and she would talk about that person ungodly. Her first husband was, kind of mildly retarded. Not bad. He was a very, very functional person. This guy worked. We always made fun of it. Kind of like, I don't know if you've seen the Saturday Night Live skit with the working Jamaicans. Oh, him no good. Him only have 10 jobs. This was this guy. He woke up early in the morning and went out and worked all day long. He held, like 3 different jobs. He had a job that he went to after his job, and then a job that he went to on the days that he was off of his other 2 jobs. So he worked. He was a worker. But he just kind of really wasn't all there. He had some problems. He had some, problems with the, a couple DUIs and stuff like that. But my sister liked him because he was easy to control. She could really get him to do anything that she wanted to. When she said jump, he would ask how high. It's kind of like that now with her current husband. And I really like this guy. And this is somebody, when you do go no contact and your head narc turns the whole family and everybody against you, you're going to miss some people. And this is one guy that I really do miss. I really liked him. But he's another one that my sister just controls, He is of a different culture. He is Filipino. He was born in the Philippines. And sometimes, when you are involved with somebody of a different culture, you have to take into consideration that they may want to live part of their culture still. And I know with a lot of the Asian cultures that, the parents help the kids out, and then when the parents get too old, the kids help the parents out. My sister will absolutely not let this man give his mother anything. If he does, if he tries, she will destroy that man. She lets him have very, very little contact with his family. And I can't say that, my sister has a good relationship with his family. So she is very controlling of it. I have seen where this guy's tried to talk to his sisters and even kind of keep it on the DL so that, it doesn't cause any problems. But my sister finds this out and she is like ready to divorce this man, which I never thought was fair. It's just, you gotta let it go. My wife is of another culture. My wife is Colombian. And I really try to embrace what she does and what her family does. Me being kind of a sarcastic, smart-ass, kind of jokester person, I kind of cut my jokes a little bit. I try not to, make it in bad taste, but, my wife kind of finds it funny sometimes. We take our jabs at each other that way. But there's a respect. When her family comes over to my house and I have the TV on at full volume and the kids are running around and everybody's talking over top of the TV at full volume, everybody at the same time, and it's all in Spanish, I don't say a word about it. It's, your normal American person would just kind of go crazy over something like that. Me, I have my own little space that I go into, and I just kind of, I give everybody my love, but I kind of give them their privacy. My sister just does not do this. She is control, and she controls her husband with an iron fist, much like she was controlled. My sister, I think that eventually it's going to catch up to her. All of this. I think that when my father finally does pass, my sister is really it's going to hit her. It's going to hit her hard. She knows what happened. We share a lot of the same stories. She is just, it's forgive and forget. Bygones are bygones. It's water under the bridge. And I try to live that way to a certain extent, and I had that straw that broke the camel's back moment, and I got tired of it. I got really tired of it. I hope that my sister does wake up. I do miss my sister very much. Although we weren't very close when we were kids, when we became young adults, and we realized that, we kind of just had each other to lean on because, both of my parents were absolutely no help whatsoever. My mother never really had two nickels to rub together, although I have to give my mom credit. If my mom had two nickels to rub together, she would have damn sure given you one of those nickels. My mother isn't really the narcissist. She's been abused, and my mother has her issues. My mother is, she has her issues. She has her issues. My sister really took on a lot of my father's and my grandmother's personality traits. I hope she sees the light before it's too late. You know, I'm kind of trying to leave a window open for her, but you know, the chances are the only thing that's going to fly in that window is going to be a couple mosquitoes and maybe a bee. But you know, as they say, it is what it is. So my sister, like I said, she's 18 months older than me, so, you know, come this October, my sister is going to be 44 years old. My sister's claim to fame right now is having a car with nice rims and a loud stereo system in it. She's lived in the same apartment for probably the past 12 years or better. It's a really run-down kind of place that's, I mean, right on the outskirts of the ghetto in Orlando. I know she's not very happy living there. I mean, she would love to be able to get herself into a house. She does stay there out of convenience because, I mean, she's like kind of right dead smack in the middle of everything. I mean, she's whatever you want to do in Orlando, my sister's a 10-minute drive from it. So, I mean, that kind of might help keep her there. But I would have loved to see her get her own house too, but my sister's never worked for anything. You know, she's always just worked to keep her head above water, and then when she does have her money, you know, she goes out to eat 6 nights a week. And I'm not talking about McDonald's. I mean, she goes to restaurants to eat. My sister has this psychological thing where she hoards food. My sister hides Little Debbie's and Ho-Ho's and Snickerdoodles and Ding Dongs and shit like that all over her house. If you go under her bed, I mean, I can almost guarantee you that you're going to pull out a semi-large Tupperware container filled with snacks. She's probably got one under her couch. She's got them all over her kitchen. She's just always done this. And my sister, I guess, kind of hides that kind of stuff, number one, because she always thought that I was going to eat it all as a kid. She was one that, you know, she believed that I was going to eat everything, so she wanted to make sure that she had hers. But number two, my father allowed everybody to call her fat and porky and chubby, and you know, we had a song we'd sing, you know, Mary Had a Refrigerator, to the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb. And my father he allowed this. He sometimes joined into this. And you know, man, I don't know if my sister's forgotten about that, but I think it really plays a part in how she is today. It's like she wants to hide when she eats sometimes because she doesn't want to be shamed like she was when she was a kid. You know, my sister's just, she hasn't taken that step to become her own person. You know, like Ollie Matthews said, you have to get your parents out of your ass. You got to get away. You got to start your own life. And my sister, you know, she sits next to my father and she smiles at how great she is, but when she gets behind closed door, it's his fault because he's never helped her with anything. This is why she's at a job that just barely keeps her head above the water, and she'll never be able to afford a home. I mean, I was the exact opposite. You know, I mean, I started my own business when I was 24 because I knew, I mean, I didn't have a college education. I wasn't an office type of person. You know, I wasn't a school person to begin with, but, you know, although I do know that many people get out and work and support themselves and send themselves to school, I mean, I didn't do that, man. I work 2 jobs so that I can be able to pay my bills, I did fall victim to some self-gratification things rather than put my money into my education, but that's how it was. I didn't blame anybody. I always thought that, yeah, it would have been nice if my father said, hey, son, just don't leave home. Just live here and go to a trade school or something like that and go out into the wind. But he didn't. He didn't do that. He was, he wanted me out as bad as I needed to get out. Although he did not kick me out. He did not say, son, you have to leave today. He didn't do that. Well, not until I got a little bit. But that's another story I'll tell. But, I was crimping his style. He really couldn't have his girlfriend living there if I was there. He wanted to get his kids gone so that he can live the life that he always wanted to live. I do give my father credit because he did provide 3 hots and a cot. He didn't do with what my mother did, which my mother kind of ran away and ditched us. But my father was just a narc. He was very narcissistic. He was very controlling. And the times that he couldn't control you, he controlled you by force, which is kind of what my sister got into. I think I even did that a little bit in my early years, I mean, imagine somebody with no self-esteem trying to be a narc. I mean, you look like a fucking schmutz, man. And I know that I ran some girlfriends. I mean, I ran them down, man, because I was just trying to be like my father. And if any of those girlfriends ever watched this video or something, I apologize, man. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just trying to be like Daddy, man. So, if I try to, and don't get me wrong, I don't lay my hands on anybody. I never have. I've never been a hitting, forceful kind of person. But, I had a fucked up mouth. I would say things that just, today when I think about the things that I said, I kind of cringe. So, it is what it is, man. I'm at my first building. I really do need to get in there and clean this. I think my sister is going to be a multiple part series because there's a lot to uncover. I guess on this video I was just trying to give you the basic gist rundown, but I think there's a lot more that I would like to say about my sister. So when I'm done this building and I'm driving over to my next one, I think I'll continue a little bit. So if you're still with me, thank you much. I appreciate it. And I'm sorry if I'm, clearing and coughing. I just recently quit smoking. I'm probably about a month and a half, 2 months into quitting. And now I'm starting to clear. As disgusting as that sounds, I'm sorry. But, all that shit is just releasing itself, which is a good thing. But I have quit smoking. So anyway, like the video, share it. I always said, I don't care if this gets out, it is for me. And the only reason that I really do want it to get out is just to help some people. There's more people out there like me. I always give credit to Ollie Matthews, and I'm going to do it again. He's done some wonderful things. He's, above and beyond what a lot of us on the stage that we're at. I think, Ollie has really, and if you watch Ollie's videos, from the first video to his most recent ones, you can see that man kind of went from this to this. I mean, he's just, he's renewed himself. I'm kind of hoping to do the same thing, and I would like to see you do the same thing. So, if you want to make a video and you want to start telling your story, I support you 100%. Post your video down in the comments. I want to watch your story. and I'll help you do whatever I can to get it out, man. We have to raise awareness for this. This has to leave the point of being you're just feeling sorry for yourself to a condition. And although, there's many forms of it, I know, you got your parental, you have your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and all this. When it comes to the parental side of it, I believe that us Generation X people really took the brunt of this, man. We really, really took the brunt of this. So, anyway, I'm going to end it now. And, you guys, do your thing. Be good.